So let's go with the third house lord being conjunct with sun. Now sun, because it is the energy of responsibility, accountability, leadership, and an energy which is also a royal energy, a regal energy, but this is also the energy of the soul. So when sun gets conjunct with the third house lord in the different areas that the third house lord will seek results, sun will also play an important part. So because the third house is also the house of your communication, so the sun will throw a lot of its own flavor into your communication. So such a person will be somebody who will be very authoritative in their communication, or at least will not be somebody who will lie down in the communication. They will use such words which will also keep their sense of self-respect, in fact even their pride. In terms of the people they are talking to, the person with sun conjunct with the third house lord will also tailor make their communication accordingly, but they will never move away from the authoritative communication or the demeanor that they have, the ability to hold their head high, to hold their own, even in those communications or even in those interactions which may be with people who are very, very senior up. So the person with sun conjunct with the third house lord will talk with a lot of confidence, and will also introduce himself or herself with a lot of confidence and trying to impress the people, because the person himself feels that I am somebody, I am not a walkover. Same approach they will also bring to their work, because the third house is also the house of effort. So in their work they will also bring in a certain degree of responsibility, accountability. They will take ownership for their work. They will not shy away from the work. Only thing is sometimes they may like to delegate the work. They don't like too much to get their hands dirty, especially if the work is not too very important. Somebody else can do it. So then they will delegate the more menial work to somebody else, and they may want to do the more important work. So this is the person who, even in their work, if they are working for somebody, will take the accountability, the responsibility, the leadership. But if they want to do something of their own, because the third house is also the house of self-enterprise, something that you do for yourself. So yeah, even in that communication, they will bring in more authority, because now it is their own business. Plus, the way they communicate, the way they market their capabilities, the way they market their products and services will also bring in that hint of leadership and accountability and responsibility. So if they have a website for their own work, there will be a market their products or services. They will want that product or service to be their business to be inaugurated by somebody who is very important. So they may go and tell somebody who is really important in the area, somebody who is maybe a senator, somebody who may be holding a very responsible government position, to come and open or inaugurate that. And they would like to work for the government. They may like to have projects from the government also, because they feel that being in an authoritative business where power and influence is also coming in is important for their business to be inaugurated by somebody who is very important. So they may go and tell somebody who is really important in the area, somebody who is maybe a senator, somebody who may be holding a very responsible government position, to come and open or inaugurate that. And they would like to work for the government. They may like to have projects from the government also, because they feel that being in an authoritative business where power and influence is also coming in is important for them, because that's what also they like. They also like to be treated with a lot of importance, and also through that be able to take up a lot of pride in their work. And that is the meaning of the third house lord getting conjunct with the planet or the planetary energy sun.